Hey guys, thanks for watching. We're talking about exit strategies. This is a very important piece because essentially if it's your money or it's somebody else's money, you have to pay attention to that investment. In other words, this is not a stock. It's not a long-term hold of a stock. And so as you're investing in a business or in real estate, you got to be super conscious about what's happening with that money at all times. And so it might be interesting for you guys to know that I spelled this wrong, first of all. So, hey, I caught that. But two, what an exit strategy and how it works. And so when I'm looking at a piece of real estate, this is what I'm looking at. I'm actually looking at the exit while I'm buying. So, and I'll just give you guys a very, very super easy example, and I think you'll kind of understand this. But what's most important to know is that before I actually bought this was my strategy, and that's actually all you need to know. So this is a very small piece of land, and it's a property that was $290,000. That's all. And it's a vacant piece of land, but right here, it had a billboard on it. And so most people would look at this and go, you know, oh my God, like, what am I going to do with a piece of land with a billboard on it? So I dug into it a little bit more, and the seller had been getting $5,000 a year for this billboard. So they had been renting it to a billboard company for $5,000 a year. And so I sent it to a friend of mine who's in the billboard business, and I actually own billboards. So that's why I was interested in this. And he said, well, guess what, Ken? This billboard actually should be doing about $50,000 a year. Okay? So now all of a sudden I'm very interested in this because, you know, now this guy had signed this agreement back in 2001. And so here it is, 15 years later, and he's getting $5,000 a year, and I'm sure he's super happy with it. And this is a vacant piece of land at the same time. So I went to my friend Scott and I said, what do you think it could be done? He said, I think that we can do somewhere between $40,000 and $70,000 a year, but 50 is probably a pretty good number because it's basically like $2,500 per side with a little bit of vacancy. Because remember, it has two sides. It's on a major street. So I said, oh, I like this deal. And he's like, well, what the heck would you like about this deal? Well, first of all, if I don't do anything, I'm making $50,000 against the $290,000. So literally in 6 years, I have my money paid back. Okay, that's if it stays occupied and it's managed well. So it's the same thing as having a tenant or somebody in a business. It doesn't really matter. In this particular case, it's selling advertising on a billboard on a major street. Okay, but now we're talking about exit strategies. So I want to show you what I've done. And so what I did is I bought this property, and then I put a lease around this here to myself. So that's a lease. And then I listed the land. So this parcel, this parcel, this parcel for $100,000 each. So for $300,000, I'm out of this deal. I still own the billboard, getting $50,000 a month, and I lease it to myself. So when I sold it to the next buyer that bought the land, which was a home builder, and he paid me $300,000, so $10,000 more than I paid, but I retained the lease, a long-term 30-year lease that's going to generate $50,000 a year. So that's an exit strategy. And the interesting thing is that this email blast went out to thousands of people, and everyone looked at it like, oh my gosh, this is a pain in the butt because we've got a big billboard sitting in the middle of this land, and I saw it differently. So these exit strategies, they don't always have to be you. You can, as I said, I reached out to my friend Scott. He educated me. If he would have said it would have been $5,000 a year, I would have passed. It would have been that simple. But this is part of understanding and learning. And the whole point of this is that when I bought this, I knew I was going to get my money back 1 year later. That's the entire point. That is the exit strategy. So I bought it, retained the asset, what I felt like was the asset here, and I sold it. And so now, guess what? I've got this money back again. So now I'm looking for the next deal. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.